Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of How to Minecraft. Whoa, that's crouching and then flying and then crouching again. It looks like I'm just belly flopping straight into the ground. Oh man, I am so excited about today's episode because this is something. So we're making a 16 destination rail system. And the reason I'm so excited about this is because when I was getting started in Minecraft, one of the first big builds I ever made was a 16 destination rail system. I don't know why. Oh, I mean, I guess back then, you know, there wasn't any elytra, you know, I didn't have a nether hub and all those things. And so this rail system was the way I would get around. And I want to remake it. This is like memories for me. And if you're someone who kind of, you know, yes, we have elytra. Yes, we have, you know, crazy nether hubs. Yes, I don't need this system, but I want it so bad. I want this, and I can use rail to move around my base. And if you are the type of person who maybe you don't have elytra yet, maybe you don't want to make another hub, you don't want to go through a portal every single time, or you have a lot of destinations, which I do. I have a lot of destinations that are close by my base, so that I can easily take a rail to location to location. So we are going to get started. Before we get started, I needed to go back to like 2006 and find, it's not 2006, that's way too early, but I needed to go way back in time and find the design that I used. Like, where was it and what did I do? So I here have a creative world to kind of show you what we are going to be making. And this is the destination selector that we are going to be making. And as you can see, we got our 16 destinations, places that you can go, all 16. And I remember seeing this design way back in the day and being like, mind blown. This is crazy. Look at this. You can go to 16 different places with only 4 lines of redstone. This is a line right here. Then you got one line right here, one line right here, and one line right here. I know this looks complicated, but it's really not. It's actually one of the more simple designs. And to be able to go to 16 places without needing to have like a switch for exactly every single location or a big line, and then you can like pull off of the location, it's incredible. So let me show it to you. Let's say we choose destination 8 here. I'm going to click the button. There is a was 8 already selected? Okay, let's choose 6. There we go. Now I was like, where were the pistons? Apparently I liked the number 8. I can set this up with a redstone lamp, which I just don't have on there, to make it look even simpler than it does. And then I jump on here and then I go along my merry way. And where do we end up? 6. Not 8, because remember, I chose a different number than 8. So we got to 6. Let's go on over here. Let's click 13. Lucky number 13. And we place it here, we get in, and we move along our way. What destination do we land out? 13! It works, I swear! So we are going to be making this. We're actually going to be making a version with the redstone lamps on top. So after you click a button, you'll be able to see where you're actually going. There you go, I fixed it. There you go, now you can actually see. We go to 10, 10 lights up. We go to 5, 5 lights up. Now, with this design, 1 will not light up. You go to destination 1, it's because it's like fake redstone back here. And I'll explain why that is true. But this, I'm just so excited. So let's get started. Obviously, you're going to need blocks and then redstone. But I seriously went back to the old design that I used when I was getting started. And you'll notice there's like no observers, there's no comparators. I'm seriously just using the old design. So sticky pistons are the most difficult part of this entire design. It's really old school because I'm literally using the old school design. So you should be able to build this very early in your world. So this is where I'm going to be building my my build. This is part of my house, and it's just going to be right off of the back of the house. Now, the first thing I need to do is put down a floor. And I will be breaking into this floor to do all the redstone. So just keep in mind that I just am making sure that it's the same level as my house. And yes, I expect that I'll be digging into this later. The floor is done. Okay, so this is going to be a 16 destination selector. So we are going to be using, I'm going to start off with the control panel right here. And then hopefully we'll have enough room for all the rail over here. And I am kind of just eyeballing and guessing here. I haven't actually counted to see how much space we have. So we're just gonna do it live, okay? So starting off, we are going to basically need to clear out a space for all of the selector redstone. And this is going to go down 1, then you're gonna go down 2, then down 1 more, and I'm gonna replace this block with the thing right here. Down 2, and once again, I'm just replacing the floor so it's easy to see. And then down 3, and like I said, we're just gonna go down so that I can replace that block there. And I've counted out 16, and I'm just gonna make sure that that is how everything is all the way across. So this is what it is going to look like with the silhouette basically of it. Now go ahead and put down a redstone line all the way across. Technically you could leave this one open because we're gonna be doing something right there later. Well, I guess no, right there is actually good. So anyway, all the way across. Next, take repeaters and put them down into the first trough, all pointing at this block. And then the same thing on the other side. And make sure you don't add any delay to these. And one way I can do that is don't look where you're going to be putting the repeater. Look where the repeater is going to be facing. And then you won't accidentally click to accidentally add a delay. So once those are down, then we are going to get some redstone torches and place them on the block that both of those are pointing into. Then we're going to add blocks covering up those repeaters and also above those torches as well. And then from the back, we are going to add torches to all of the blocks that are above the torches. So we got torch on torch. Then on the back side, and remember, this is kind of going to be where your buttons are going to be. We are going to put redstone repeaters facing into that block. And each of these repeaters need to be on 1 delay, 1 little itty bitty delay. Now we need some sticky pistons, and you only need 15 of them. There we go, sticky pistons. And I remember now that it's a little light, but this 16th one actually really won't have any redstone behind it at all. The 16th one is almost like a dummy button for you to use because one of the destinations is going to need no redstone to get to. So start on one of the ends and go all the way down. The end that doesn't have the redstone on it will be your dummy end, and you don't really actually have to be doing any of the redstone there, but just go all the way across here, boop, just like so. And now that all those are down, we're just gonna place a block that the sticky piston is connected to, and then a line of redstone torches along the bottom. There we go. Now we need to escape. And we can add our block right here. And this will be where our button goes. So you can add whatever type of button you want. Can be stone, it can be wood. And I just have these black stone buttons that I think look so nice and contrasty. And is there a zombie? Where's it? Hello, little zombie. Go away. So already the redstone for any area except for this first button will work. So if I click this, you can hear the pistons go off. And here is how all of this redstone works. And let me cut out a silhouette so that you can actually see. So let me explain how this redstone is working. I love to explain how the redstone works on this channel, so you get a little bit more information. So here is a cutaway of each of the tiles that we have made. And right now, this one is selected. This is the selected option. If we were to, move right over here, it's no longer selected. And you can see that this piston is down. So that torch is powering that block, which is powering this repeater, which is powering that block, which is turning off this torch, which keeps this torch on, which is in turn pushing the piston down. So that's if it's not selected. Then if it is selected, you have a situation where this torch is off and that is up. And so you have your redstone right there. So if let's say it's in the non-selected option with that torch on, when you click this button to select it, this redstone signal from this button goes down and to this repeater at the same time. As it goes down, it's really not gonna do much because it's already, this right here is powering this torch, because you're going to go down, you're going to hit this redstone, that redstone's going to power that repeater, it's going to power this block, turn this off, which is already off, which keeps this on. But up here, what's going on is this is on a 1 tick delay, so this is going to power that block, and when this block is powered, no matter what this block is doing, which was unpowered right now because of that torch down there, because this is going to be powered, this is going to unpower itself, which will lift up this block. Because it's on that 1 tick delay for 1 tick, this whole circuit is going to be broken, which will leave that piston up in the air. So the timing works out perfectly that this is still on, that torch is basically still off while that whole thing is going on, and that's the only repeater that's firing. And as we hit this button, you'll notice that this redstone line is powering all the way down. So because this is powered, then this is gonna be powered, then this is gonna turn this off, which turns that on. So that's how you're able to reset from this line. This is your reset line, and this repeater is what is selecting this line as the one that is going to be the one. So we're gonna turn that off. That repeater is the one that's making sure that that piston stays in the upward position once all of this runs through. So that is how we're able to have such a compact amount of redstone with this build. So I mentioned that there was a dummy button, and we're gonna build that right now. So right now I actually destroyed one of the lines so that we could show off that little tutorial, and you'll notice if you paused and counted, there's only 15 buttons right now. So we're gonna add our 16th button right now, and we're just gonna have a redstone line that comes off of that and then comes down and then heads around, and we're gonna put a repeater down right here that will power the reset line, but will not power anything else. And I'll need more redstone. And we're just gonna connect our redstone from the back of, well, where that button will be, from the back of that over here to the repeater. And so when we click this, it will reset everything, and every single piston will go down. If you were wondering, why is this a 16 destination selector? Well, remember, redstone can only travel 16 blocks. So really, 15 after the maximum power there. So that is one of the limitations. The other one has to do with binary, and it's super cool. And we're going to get to that in just a moment. So I'm going to clear away some space at the back over here, because how this is going to work, how we're actually getting our redstone signal to the rest of this build is based off of these blocks right here. So I've gone down 3, but I'm just replacing the floor. So really, you got to go down 2. And what I'm going to do is we are going to have every other block here is going to be a repeater. There we go. So we have the repeaters down, and as you can see, when they are not selected, they output a redstone signal. And I know that that can be confusing because they're not selected, but yet they are outputting redstone. Next, you are going to have to clear away some space. I know you're probably thinking like, whoa, a lot has changed, Chad, since we last talked. What is going on? It's because I didn't know exactly how much space we needed to clear out. But these are the repeaters that we just added. So we're going to have to go down 3 blocks, and the 4th block is the floor. And then we're gonna have to go across. If that is the repeater, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. So your 3 by 10 is going to be the dimension that you're going to have to make sure to dig out of the ground. Now up here, we will need some lines. So I avoided, digging out all of this space because eventually we are going to have some redstone lines based off of the back of this block and this repeater here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up 1 is the line that you're going to have to create. That goes all the way across the build, and then just every other block will be a block that you have to save. What is going on here is basically we're splitting every other tile here. So this is a tileable design, but every other tile, one will go up, one will go down. So if you have a repeater, you're going to head up in the upward direction. So add a block, to the front of that repeater. Then you're going to go up, up again, 2, and then this redstone line is in the way. So 3. So I guess that's 4 blocks total of elevation, and then go all the way across your lines. And that is how you deal with the ones that have the repeaters. Then add redstone all the way along. So I'll do that on this one too. So we got redstone all the way across. Then on any of the tiles that don't have a repeater, you're going to need to add redstone to them. So they will look like this to you. Just add redstone off of the back of that, down, and go across 2. Then you'll need a repeater, then a block with a torch on top. Then another repeater with a block, and you probably guessed it, a torch on top, then another repeater, another block, another torch on top, and then finally one more repeater, block, torch on top, just like that. So you have 4 torches with the 4 repeaters, and you're just going to go every other, just like we did before, where if it's one that doesn't have a repeater on it, then you aim for the floor. If it does have a repeater, then you go up into the air. By the way, if you want to save repeaters, this last one can just be redstone, because we don't need to, you use a repeater to basically inject past that block to get the redstone signal to continue. So you don't need a repeater at the, as the last one of these blocks. And of course, you don't have to, do them one line at a time. You can mass make this stuff. I just remembered. Oh no, you don't need torches on all of these. I said you got to put a torch on all of them. That was for spacing. Okay, the torches up here were for spacing. You don't need torches on every block. Oops. We are almost done. So, if it wasn't obvious, basically what we're doing is we are making this redstone whole area so that it will go above and below these 4 redstone lines. And those 4 lines, believe it or not, will allow us to make the decision for 16 different destinations. I've been working on the redstone all the livelong day. Okay, and we are done with all of that. Also, I made sure to put repeaters at the end of this line. This should be 16 long, so that should be when you need to repeat the power. Now that we're done with that redstone, it is time to start working on the rail. So I do need to get some minecart rail. We'll need some powered rail and some rail. And I don't have much. Now, before I get to crafting, I am gonna try a technique that I'm not sure if it still works or not. But like I said, we're gonna try it. We are going to try to duplicate this rail. Which I don't know if it works in 1.16. But it's very simple. If it will work, where is my observers? I need some observers. So we're gonna put down 2 blocks. Then we're going to put 2 redstone dust on top of those blocks. Then we're going to take a lever and click it and turn it on. We're going to take a sticky piston, put it here. It's going to extend. We're going to add some slime blocks to that. We're going to take an observer, observe the slime right there. And then we're going to take our rail and we're going to stick it to the top. And possibly, it still works. Rail duplication. There we go. Free rail. Don't mind if I do. But does it work with normal rail as well, or just powered rail? It does! Hooray! Okay, so now that we have our rail, let's go ahead and set up our 16 destinations. And I bet that I don't have enough room here. Pretty sure that I need at least a 36 by 12 area. And so assuming that like this is going to be where the start of the rail is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just gonna guesstimate that it needs to be about 36 by 12 just for the different destinations. Okay, so I've gone ahead and extended, and assuming that I got that right, let's just go ahead and put this all down. So I have 16 rails here, and these will be the 16 different destinations. What I'll have to do with each rail is those will all stay in place, but we're gonna build basically a place for it to come out, another place for it to come out, and then a place for it to come in. And so we're basically making a Y. And you'll see how that decides to go to the left. That is great. So we're going to do that on all of these. If you accidentally do something like this, make sure that you break that middle bit right there and then put it back down so you have it curving. That is totally fine. That will eventually happen with all of these if that curves but doesn't connect. Totally cool, but we cannot have it where it does not connect with this bottom piece down here. It has to connect to that bottom piece. We can also do something like this, and then it will all be great. And we're going to do that with all of them. We're actually already finished. Now that all of that is done, we're going to connect the outputs of those again. So head on over, and this will be the middle bit right there. So that looks perfect. And we're doing the same thing where you got to make sure that it isn't just connected between the two locations, that we will have a juncture right there. Perfect, and we're done with that. Now we're doing that another time with the next group of these outputs. And so this is gonna go down like so. And you'll notice that in the beginning we had a ton, but now we have like very few of them because we're getting less and less. We're dividing by 2. 16 divided by 2, you know, we have 8, then 4, then 2, and then we're going to go down to 1 here. So this is going to head this direction, and right here will be, whoops, no, that's not correct. There we go, over to here. So how are we able to get 16 destinations from 4 redstone signals? And the way that we are able to do that is because a redstone signal will actually change the direction of this track. So with this lever right here, if I put this lever here and I turn it on, you'll notice that the track will switch. We're going to hide that redstone underneath these juncture points, but that is the way that we are going to get all of these different destinations. So we're going to come up here. Are we going left or are we going right? If we go left, we take a left. We come to do the next one, left or right. Take a left, okay. Next one, left or right, take a left. Next one, left or right, take a left. And with 4 lefts, we're able to get to the first destination. If we're trying to get to the second destination, it would be left, 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 right. So basically, at every point along the way, we're just asking, yes, turn, or by default, you know, turn to the left. So like turn to the right or turn to the left or right. Or you could also think of it as yes or no, or you could think of it as 1 or 0. You could think of it like binary. We are counting to 16 in binary in a way, which is absolutely insane and cool. So let's go ahead and connect each one of these lines. I'll explain how we are going to do that complicated thing of left, right, left, left, or to get to a specific destination. We'll cover that in just a moment. But first, we need to take these outputs of these lines and connect them to each juncture point. To make this simple on myself, I am going to change the block that the juncture is on. So I'm going to rip up each one of these junctures, and then I'll put down a different block. I'm personally going to put down some dark oak, because I think the oak goes with the whole, railroad theme. And the reason I'm switching out this block is so when I am underneath, I'm going to be able to tell where these junctures are. Now that all those blocks have been removed, I'm going to add my rail back to all of this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go underneath the build. So we're going to dig under here. And I'm just going to go along this line. So this line right here is basically our last decision that we need to make. So I'm just going to dig underneath so I can see all of those blocks, and I can't see anymore. And then I'm also going to come on over here. This is our one of our lines, and it's going to go over to that direction. So I'm just going to try to match up under the ground here. There we go, so that we have a nice, easy to follow pathway underneath all of that first line. And we're going to do that with the second, third, and fourth to connect them over here to this redstone. Okay, so now that my underground tunnels are connected to each line, that could be put together right there. Now we're actually going to connect the redstone underneath each one of these different junctures. So I'm going to go along this first line. I'm going to find the last juncture. So that's this one right here. And so I'm going to put a redstone torch, which I don't have. Here we go. I'm going to put a redstone torch right on that, so it's right underneath the block that we placed earlier. And that will switch this to the opposite direction. Then I'm going to connect the redstone sort of backwards. So we're going to have a repeater against that block, and then redstone all the way up until we get to another block. Then make sure we put down a block with a redstone torch directly underneath there, a repeater out of there, and then more redstone. And I guess for this, it'll be repeater, redstone, redstone, then torch with block, repeater, redstone. Now, this is only for the fourth decision, the fourth area that we got to go to. And we're building this backwards. Think about it, how the redstone line is going to go. It's going to come from over there and then head this way. That's why the repeaters are facing away from us. Now right here, this is the first of the things, and I just have a 90 degree. That's totally fine. Just make sure that you put a repeater going into that. And then your line back to the starting point, just make sure that it's less than 16 blocks, or that you just put a repeater along the way if you're nervous about it, so that you won't accidentally run out of redstone signal. And then do that with the other lines so that there is a torch, a block with a torch right underneath each of the junctures. Then make sure that you get rid of the raiding party that just happens to be here, because that'll happen every single time. That's just part of the build, part of the redstone, is to get rid of these guys. And the last line should be the simplest, because you don't really have any, you have one decision to make. And that's it. And you're done. By the way, if you don't have any thing on the other side of your block, you don't have to use a repeater because you don't need the redstone signal to go through the block to continue that redstone through the block. Okay, so now all of our redstone is hooked up. So if we were to add a redstone signal, so let's just take this lever and turn this on, it would turn on this line, which sends it all the way down. And remember, the torches are on underneath, so a redstone signal going to the block the torch is on will turn the torch off. So now this is back to default, which was aimed for towards the left on this right here. And then if we turn it off, it'll go towards the right, which this is all working fantastically. So now what we can do, because the output of our destination selector is basically always on, unless it's the line that we want. So if I hit this one, unless it's the line that we want, then the redstone is off, because these are always on, we can put torches down. Whoops. On this, or that also works down here where it's on. If you put a torch down, the torch will be off because the not selected is on. The torch will be off until it is selected, which then it will turn on. So in this situation, here, let's go over here because this is a little bit simpler. With nothing on at all, with every redstone line completely shut down, right? By default, we're going to aim for the right. So we're going to go right, 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 and aim right here for our first destination. If we want to go to the second destination, we need to go right, 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 left. So this right here would need to be turned on. That would be the line that goes and makes sure that all of those would turn to the left in order to get there. So that will be our first destination. Number one destination will be right here. Second destination will be right here. So if I click it, there we go. Every other line is turned on, which would turn off the torches on that line. But because the line we selected is turned off, it turns on that torch, which sends the line over here and makes it go to the left. So we have a right, a right, a right, and then a left. And that sends us to the correct destination. What is crazy is that this is literally binary. We are counting in binary to get up to 16. Technically, we're getting to 15 because this is 0, because we have no decisions to make on that first line. So if we're clicking here, just literally the whole system's being bypassed and we're doing the default, which is 0. And so number 1 in binary is 1, which is 1 right here. Now, to count to the second place, we have to go underneath because remember, our whole build is split in half. And if you think about it, what we need to do, I mean, if you want to ignore the whole binary thing, I mean, just think. You got to go right, right, left, right. And left is the only thing that's weird. So on the second line, which is this one right here, we need to make sure that we put down a torch. And that would be right there. And so when we select destination 3, so 1, 2, 3, and I can add signs here to make this simpler, that line is now powered, and we go right, right, left, right. Then for the next destination, we need to go left, left. So right, right, left, left. So we need to make sure that the first and the second line are powered. Boop and boop, just like that. Then we can come on over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, boop. And our torches should turn on. And we should go to the fourth destination, which is so cool. Now, I have personally found a little chart to help me with this, but you could also just do, you know, left, left, right, right. You know, we're going to have to go right, left, then right, right to get to the next place. And so you could do all of that manually, or you could use my little thing and just know that it might be a little bit simpler if you place your torches on this backside. So this will be the same thing. So these two right here would go there, and they're still going to be on, but I can turn those off. And then this one would go right there like that. And so it's a little bit simpler for me to look at this and think, okay, that's 1, 0, 0, 0. This is 1, 1, 0, 0. And then we're counting in odd numbers here, so I can easily kind of figure out where I put my torches and where I don't put my torches. Because I put these torches on this side, the redstone is right here, which means that it's a little bit further away from the repeaters than I anticipated. So just make sure that you add some extras here to continue the signal on. And I'm not worried about my signal degrading that much, so I can just replace those like that. So that was all the odd numbers. So down here, I can do all of the even numbers and think 0, 1, 0, 0. The next one would be 4, which would be 0, 0, 1, 0. Then 6, 0, 1, 1, 0. And there we go. This is the output for down here. So you can kind of look at this if you really need to pause and figure out how to do this yourself. You're just like, I don't want to learn binary. I'm good. I'm good without it. And then I don't know how I would show you up here. The last one will be all lit. And then you kind of got this situation over here. I feel like I'm doing parkour on my redstone so that you guys can see if you just want to follow along by pausing the video. And that should all work. Now, to make things more convenient for me, I am going to add some powered rail, but remember that you don't want your redstone to accidentally power one of these junctures. Whoa, that is a lot faster than I expected. So just be aware of that. I'm going to add power rail just so that I can kind of zoom through this first section kind of quickly like that. And then I'll put my power source. You could put it right here because it won't do that corner right there. And then I can make this powered rail too, like so. Woohoo! There we go. Actually, I'm going to make this go over towards where we're going to hang out, you know? Like, I'm going to select something over there and then go. So, now that all that is finished, I am going to make this a little bit easier for me to follow along without just counting out buttons. So I'm going to add a row of blocks, and then we're going to add signs with numbers to all of the destinations. And for right now, I am just going to count up. I'm not going to actually decide where these are going to go. There we go. Everything is labeled. So we can test this out. I'll test it out with, you know, some easy numbers. So actually, let's do the second to the last, 15. Hopefully, 15 will send us to the second from the last destination. And I just made this quick little thing right here. Well, that was wrong. My issue was with this first junction, which I don't know why it didn't work before, because it seems to be working now. That was the issue. Okay, let's try this one more time. Sometimes just a reset obviously fixes some things. We just needed a reboot. We needed to turn it off and on again. There we go. Here we are. Nice. That was the second to last, which is what I expected to have happen. Perfect. If you would like to add a redstone lamp above your button so that you can tell what is selected, so you don't accidentally have to like select things twice, it's very simple to do. On the backside of this redstone, where you have your repeaters facing into, just add a torch along that line. Whoops. And then add a block on top of that, all the way across. And then add a torch to the front of that block all the way across. And what's going on here is the one that is selected, the torch is off, which would take the torch above it and turn it on. So they're all off unless there is a torch on. Now that will power a redstone lamp. So we can add our redstone lamps all the way across the number. So now I can easily tell which destination is selected. The one bug is that the number 1 location does not have that type of redstone behind it. And just because I am absolutely paranoid, I have gone ahead and added signs to the destinations, and I'm going to test out each number just to make sure I didn't do anything incorrectly. Got to 3 just fine. 4, 5, 6, and it worked. We got all of the minecarts to go where they needed to go. So we are done. I hope that you guys found this useful. I love this this build. It's like this is memories for me, because this was like one of the first things I ever made that I was like so proud of in my Minecraft world. And now I've remade it. I remember I think it took me like a week to make, and now I was able to make it in just a few hours. So I hope that you guys find this useful, find it helpful, and I'm kind of glad that I'm bringing like this redstone build from the past back into, you know, the world, and hopefully people will build this in their worlds. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a like. Also, make sure you subscribe for future videos, tips, tricks, tutorials, and spotlights here on OMGcraft. If you want to directly support me, you can do that in a few different ways. You can buy merchandise, including the new Fish Fox and Frost Fox poster at helloomg.com. That is where you get all the merchandise, helloomg.com. And you can also become a member of the channel by clicking the join button to become a member. Thanks so much once again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!